What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another preview/review. Hope everyone's doing well. Obviously, a bit frustrating yesterday, but obviously we'll get into everything talking about last night's game, the decisions, and then obviously focus on Newport. Should be a good game at home on Saturday. Obviously, if you do enjoy the stream, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. As you can see, I've got a code. If anyone wants to join Fan Hub and they haven't already, they can, predict the team, even though it's hard. Obviously, under button, you can check in at grounds, win tickets and stuff. So yeah, there's a code there, GJ/867. But yeah, we've got Neil on and Benji, who were both at the game with me last night. And yeah, we're going to get into it. First of all, how are you lads both doing? You good?
Pretty good here. Yeah, same.
Good. But yeah, also get your questions in. If you want us to answer any questions about the weekend's game or last night's game, please get them in and we'll go over it. But going to start off with Benji first. First of all, what did you make of the lineup? And then obviously your thoughts on, either halves and the decisions that went in that game.
Oh, where to start? Well, I was actually quite pleased with the lineup, to be honest, although I did expect Trevor Clark to start if we were going to play three at the back. But there was a lot of praise for the lineup for the first time in quite a while. There's been some strange decisions on, square pegs and round holes and changing formation. And although I wasn't best pleased that it was three at the back, I was quite pleased it was very attacking. I think the strengths of our team are in attack, not defence. Yeah. So play to their strengths, so we did that well. What do I think of the game and the decisions? There's too many to go through, isn't there? I was very, very displeased with the first half, particularly the first 30 minutes or so. And I actually thought you could tell, because we were quite close to where the defensive players were, that they were getting frustrated with this playing out from the back. I thought we were too negative. We were too flat. Didn't burst forward with enough pace at all. And I think we failed in that respect. And I thought it was quite ironic. There was a cheer from the crowd when Belshaw ushered his players forward so we could play the ball long for the first time, which I liked. Thought we were great after half time. I thought we made a lot of changes based on how we played in the first half. We played through the lines a lot better, and Anthony Evans turned quite a few people. Nicholson got on the ball more. Thomas made runs inside, allowed Anderson space outside, until that crazy last 15 minutes or so. Obviously, the red cards had a lot of effect on the game, and also Barton substitutions as well. So it's progress at the end of the day. It's a point away from home. I thought we were going to see it out until the Reds, but a point's better than nothing away from home.
Yeah, absolutely. Neil, what was your thoughts on the lineup and then the general game and all the decisions from the ref and stuff like that?
Well, lineup-wise, when you look at it 1 to 11, you're trying to find out what system he's even looking at, because it looks like he's gone to crowbar every single attacking player he's got into that side. Didn't mind it. Looking at it, it looks like he wants to get on the front foot and go straight after Colchester. After obviously they're not desperately prolific going forward, so it looked like the intent was get all your attacking players into some form of shape going forward in the final third and going at Colchester, because like I was saying to you, I expect them to be dead on their feet on 60 minutes. They've got so many old heads in there after having a brawler of a game against Harrogate on the Saturday. Coming into the Tuesday, I thought they'd have so many players in that red zone. The physios would be screaming for them to make changes early, because they got a lot of old heads in there, like I said, and their legs would be going. So it looked to me as if Barton was just going to go and flood it with attacking players and try and go right after him. Rovers' first half stay out where they are at the minute. It takes us too long to see what we're actually going to become. So yeah. I understand the way he wants to go as far as, Belly having the ball at his feet, and he wants us to beat the press and be brave on the ball. But there's a time and a place for it. You can't do it on every single pattern of play, I mean, there's going to be times where you're on the edge of your seat and you're a bit spooked by the way we're playing, but that's just that. We just got to accept it. That's how he wants us to play. And to be honest, sometimes when we do get into that middle and Whelan can turn it around corners and get it into Evans, etc., we look okay doing it. But yeah, it is white knuckle stuff sometimes, because it doesn't always come off. But you're going to have to get used to it watching Rovers. He's going to want us to beat that press by playing out.
Yeah.
First half, I thought we looked good last sort of 10, 15 minutes of that first half when we started actually getting a feel for our shape and understanding what Colchester were trying to do to us as far as get around the outside of us. Wasn't desperate because we didn't play great, but we started to probe a little bit towards that first half. You know, I liked Evans in there a little bit deeper, got on the ball earlier, started to make us tick a little bit. And I thought maybe that could be an hard night's work for Whelan, coming off of 90 minutes at 37, going in there on a Tuesday. Again, he could have been in the red zone and struggling, but he got through 90 minutes. He looked all right over 90 minutes. Didn't look struggling or anything. Second half, thought he was miles better second half. And then basically, it's just, once the goal goes in, it's all there for us to lose. The game's won as far as I'm concerned. Once we get that header, because they've shown nothing, Colchester. They've shown absolutely nothing. I mean, is Belly had to make a couple of saves? Yeah, but what's new? He has to every game, and that's the way it's going to be for Rovers. I think we're going to play that sort of way, and we're going to have to call on him every game. I think he's happy with that. He understands the role that he's got. So that didn't shock me too much. And then it just comes down to your man in the middle of the pitch deciding that he's bored out of his head and he wants to make a game of it just to give himself something to do. Because as far as I'm concerned, Harry's has done nothing wrong there. There's no way in this world, 99 refs out of 100 don't do nothing about that. The worst thing that happens is you get put on notice. If you've got the ball in your hands and you're taking a bit too long for whatever reason, you get put on notice before anything else happens. And he's just decided, do you know what, my ego's going to take over here and I'm going to entertain myself. And he's decided to send Harry's off.
Yeah.
And then it's a completely different situation. I mean, as far as looking at the touchline for what needed to be done, as far as managing that game out, we was doing all the right things as far as I'm concerned. Changes weren't an issue. I could see what he was trying to do. And it's been completely blown out of the water by a refereeing decision. I mean, as far as the goal goes, you got to defend your box. They were lumping it in there. What else are they going to do? And I thought we defended pretty well. We defended aerially pretty well. I mean, the goal itself, what a strike that is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he'd do that again if he had another 50 goes at it. He's hit it on the outside of his foot, or on the full, and it's bent right round Belly's hand. And then you're hanging on for dear life, especially when, you know, Trevor Clark wants to turn into Tyson. So, I mean, honestly, I think if you was to analyse that afterwards and look back at Trevor Clark not knowing much about him in, you know, his previous interviews and his character, he looks like an hot-headed fella. Do you know what I mean? He looks like he plays right on the edge. And as soon as that lad's got in his face, well, it's not even built up to anything. He swung for him early, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
So you knew what was coming. And then, so come the end of that last 10 minutes, you probably get away fuming that you've got a point off the back of a bad referee decision, but it could have been a lot worse. I mean, if we was to play for another 4 or 5 minutes, they might have nicked another one because we're hanging on for their life. Yeah. So, I mean, we were saying on the coach back, you know, feels like a right kick in the teeth because we was in control of that, and the referee's taken that completely out of our hands as far as us being in control of that game.
Yeah, it's just it was frustrating. I mean, obviously, I was sort of half and half with the lineup. I was sort of happy because it was attacking, but I don't think. You know, it obviously took us a while. I thought we were sort of trying to test it out, obviously get used to it, because obviously Nicholson was playing like wing back. And then, but, you know, like you both said, I thought last 10, 15 minutes of the first half, we looked a lot better, started creating a few chances. Pittman, you know, he had that free kick and he had the little chance where he could have maybe done better, but it was still a decent effort. It just went wide. And then, like you said, second half, I thought, you know, we pretty much played how we, you know, actually wanted to play. But like you said, it's just so annoying the fact that why do we take a half to get going? Because if we would have started normally, that game would have been done. But because we started so slow, that's what annoys me. But you know, and it's annoying because we had, like, I've seen, like, obviously it's all about opinions. Football's all about opinions. But I've seen there's been people saying, "Oh, the subs, you know, were bad." Me personally, I thought they were fine. We were managing the game well. He brought them on. Colchester, apart from one of our mistakes in the first half, where they had a shot and obviously Belshaw made a quality save, they didn't do nothing. So I couldn't even see them scoring. It was only when the 2 red cards, they looked like scoring because we had 9 men on the pitch and they were just like any team would, hoofing it in the box, trying to get a goal. But, it's one of those games, but, some of us were talking and saying, if that was last season, or maybe the season before, we would have probably lost that game. But luckily, we got a point, unbeaten in 3, and obviously you can try and take it, into, like we're going to talk about the Newport game at home, and hopefully try and get back to winning ways. So yeah, but there's obviously it was just frustrating as well because, obviously we've talked about Harry's, people are sort of 50-50 with that. But it's just the stupid thing what Clark did. I still can't get my head around it. Like, he's just come on. We're away from home. And at that stage it was still 1-0 as well. And then he just did that, and that even it's just stupid really, because he's only played what, like 45 minutes of football in the league for us, and he's obviously the Mansfield game where he went off injured, and then obviously we and then he the 5 minutes he played, and then he just does that stupid stuff. But obviously getting on to the Newport game, obviously they played Carlisle, drew 2-2, got a man sent off. Obviously got some old Rovers players. We got James Clark, obviously Upson, but he got a red card, so he won't be playing. Whether that's a good or bad thing, I don't know. They got Dom Telford and Timmy Abraham as well, who of course we had on loan for a bit before the season curtailed. I got a comment here saying from Tracy, guys, just keep the faith in Barton. He will turn it around. Remember, you have to walk a mile in his shoes before sacking him. Spiracy Tom says, who is this knob pretending to be Sam Nicholson? I don't know. Don't ask me. Even in Yambi Sims, after Swindon, you said you get 5 points in the next 9. I would snap your hand off. Yeah, exactly. At least we're sort of being hard to beat now, and that's a good sign. Even though it's weird as well because we still haven't played well for 90 minutes. So hopefully that can come round sooner or later. Matt's also says the second yellow card for Harry's didn't feel necessary, especially for something as little as that. I'd rather they had 30 seconds if the ref felt I was time. It's just, I've never seen that. I've never seen that ever. Apart from, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, there's a player for Northern Ireland got the same, but that's the first 2 times I've ever seen that in football, where someone, I'd give him a yellow card, and not, even into Tom as well. Pittman has got so much stake, but what do fans want? Luke James, Tom Nichols, players who get run around but a lot of no-end product. Yeah, Pittman, I'll quickly go on to Pittman. Obviously, go to Benji first. What did you make of Pittman? Because obviously, like for me, it was a tale of 2 different halves. The first half, he sort of kept coming back, and there was one stage he was left mid and centre mid, and then obviously second half he played a lot better and just stuck in his position. What did you make of Pittman's performance?
I thought it was probably his best Rovers display today. I actually think he wasn't helped by the negative tactics and the hesitancy before half time. Obviously, he almost scored before the interval as well, and is really unlucky for that free kick not to go in. I was a bit annoyed at the defence and midfield, who weren't moving the ball forwards through the lines quick enough, because Pittman and Collins were swapping, and they weren't necessarily running the channels, but they were picking space, because we could see from directly where we were, or where I was rather, that Pittman would go and stand in our left-hand channel, and there'd be no one for either the midfield or the defence near him, and we wouldn't take it up that option. But that was a byproduct of us going backwards and hesitating. In the second half, what a display. Obviously had a goal ruled out as well as the actual goal as well. Stole a yard on both of those, so it was impressive. And he ran, well, you can say run, he's not very mobile, is he? But he ran his socks off to get back and chucked his body on the line, kept clearing the ball down the line to buy us space and time and what have you. And I thought it was probably the best we've seen from him so far. Yeah,
definitely. Neil, what about you? What did you make of Pittman's performance in both halves?
Well, I've said it for weeks, mate. Pittman's as good as you make him. You know what I mean? You've got to play to what he is. He's never going to win a game on his own, So, like you hear me saying, you just got to play between the width of the 18-yard box. Leave him there. Like when he's dropping in deep, And I know it comes from frustration because nothing's coming his way, but him coming in there is not helping anyone. You know, he's no good for link up play. It's not what we want him, because once he lays that ball off and we go around the corner, he's in no man's land because he's never going to get up with play. He needs to just occupy a centre half until we get into the final third. Like I've said it for ages about Pittman. I don't care if he does nothing else in the game. He's been brought here for goals. Don't expect him to do anything other than get on the end of things, because that's his game. He's been doing it for years. So he's only as good as what you make him. So get players high and around him to make things happen for him, because he ain't going to do it himself. So second half, when we're a bit more on the front foot, probing a bit higher and getting things into him, he looked dangerous. I mean, for the life of me, I've watched it back about 3 times. Still don't know why that header's ruled out.
Yeah, that is never ever a foul. I mean, it's annoying because that's what like refs fall for that, because a player falls down. There was no push. There was even a penalty shout. I don't know if any of you seen this. He got pulled down with both hands. I think it was by Chambers, and it was the most blatant foul I've seen. But the ref didn't see it. But yeah,
you got to make Pittman what he is at the end of the day, and play to what he is, because he's never going to change. You can't mould him into something else, and I don't think anyone's expecting him to. Like I said, give him chances, he'll score goals, but you've got to give him chances. And the first half hour was a bit of a non-event for him, unfortunately, because you got to cater to him.
Yeah. I mean, it was a bit annoying because, like Benji said as well, there was times where, like, because I could see him moving as well and trying to interchange, but because we were just keeping it at the back, no one could find him, and then when we did, it got like hoofed out to Thomas instead of down the middle, because even to be fair, obviously Collins had that chance, but to be fair, apart from that, he did a lot of the hard work he got. Especially in the second half, he got more people into game, interchanging with Thomas as well. But yeah, I mean, like you said, I think you just got to have Pittman in the box. He's on his day, like he is one of the best strikers even in this league. Like if you give him a chance, he'll more than likely score, because like he had that that cross. It was a great header, obviously for the goal. Evans with another assist. Doing well, at the moment as well. I mean that's another one. Like, what did you make of Evans? Go with you, Benji. What did you make of Evans last night? Do you thought he was again?
I think death taxes and Evans' assist are the 3 certainties in life, aren't they? I thought it was great. I did wonder where he was going to play when I saw the lineup. I thought maybe they were going to do what he did with him at Bradford late in the second half, where they played him in the KDB position out wide right. But they didn't, and they played him deeper, and I was interested to see how he did. I thought he was really good. Don't know how he would fare against a more quicker and better opposition, but he was good at rolling plays, getting the ball going, running across the lines. He wasn't always aided, particularly in the first half, with good running to give him options up front. But Anthony Evans' delivery is just amazing. And when you think back to, I like Westbrook as a player. I've actually got a shirt up on the wall from last season, but his delivery was poor for most of last season, and you think of the upgrade we've made in that area just with Evans, particularly going back to the summer when nobody really knew what he was going to be like. But every ball he puts across almost is brilliant, and there's variation in his distribution as well, and you can see that with all of his assists, and he pops it with goals. So I thought he was great last night as well, and he's definitely going to be our key player, I reckon. I think you would have said before the season that Thomas and Nicholson would be our key players, but everybody would tell you it was Evans now.
Yeah, I mean he looks class. It's just because now he's sort of played. He's played Cam. He's played on the left wing. He played left mid against Carlisle. Was class. Got his first goal, and that's what I mean. He can sort of play anywhere because his distribution. I thought again, like last night, I thought actually him and Whelan, sort of complementing each other, because when Evans wanted to go forward, Whelan would sit in, and I thought both of their passing, like the passing range for both of them, was class. And obviously Evans switching the ball, he could bring it forward. And yeah, it was good to see. Got a comment even into Sam, by the way, and thanks to everyone tuning in. Hit the like if you haven't already. Matt says, I would like to expose Sid Whiteford and Polska Gas, who tweeted abuse towards Kean Harris. Did they? Well, that's mad of them. That's what some people are like, but you're always going to get people doing that. There's no reason. I mean, apart from that, I thought the defence was quality last night. All three of the centre backs, I thought they won everything. Kilgore, Harry's, because Harry's got that block in the first half as well, where I think it was Sears or maybe Newport who had a shot, but Harry's got in the way of it. But there's no need to do that. Got a comment from Bailey as well. Thoughts on Kevin Mayer joining Southend? Has he actually gone?
Yeah, news has come out about 5 minutes ago.
Has he?
Yeah, he got given it, so he's gone.
Best of luck to him.
Yeah, fair play. I mean, obviously he's a sort of legend down there, isn't he? So, and he's been under like 4 or 5 different managers at Rovers in like 2-3 years. So, yeah, I mean, fair play. I didn't realise this. Obviously, news coming out. Yeah, I didn't even realise that. But yeah, I mean, thoughts. I mean, we start go with Neil. Like, what's your thoughts on that? Are you surprised or?
What, Mayer going?
Yeah.
No, not really. I think the sort of landscape of management at the minute, especially lower league, you've got to take what you get offered if it's a top job now. You can't really be too picky and hold on. I think Southend's probably a decent fit for him. He knows the club inside out. Probably got a good relationship with the fans. That'll buy him a bit of time because they're right in the mire at the minute.
Yeah.
So it's probably a good PR move as well for them. I expect he sat down with Barton and said, this interests me. It's something I want to do. And he's probably gone, go and get after it. Don't blame you. I think it's probably a good fit for all parties, to be honest. I think he'd have been mad to turn it down.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. Benji, what about you? Are you sort of surprised or, again, not really, considering this his first sort of move into management, and obviously he's a legend down there as well?
Well, maybe they could use his salary towards an opposition scout after all the comments that were made in the last couple of days. But joking aside, I'm not surprised at all. Obviously, he has connections there and he's well thought of. I think for a first major job in management as well, you need backing, but also a lot of time. And they've come out and said in the last couple of weeks, Southend management saying that, we've chopped and changed, we've sacked a lot of managers. Whatever comes after now, and this is before they appointed him, we need to give a lot of time and invest in what they want to do. And so that's perfect for him. So he knows that he's got a run at this as well. So good luck to him. It was obviously, I think it was the last survivor of all of the previous Bristol Rovers regime's coaching staff. And so I'm sure, there's so many coaches around there at the moment, and Barton's got his own staff in there. So he was never going to stand in his way. And why would you when someone wants to go and manage a club like Southend? Do I think that Mayer's got the talents to stop the rot at Southend? That remains to be seen. I hope he does. Southend aren't the favourite club in the world, but nobody likes to see a club go in a downward spiral like they are. And actually, until a few weeks ago, I think I wrote in a Bristol Post column that we had worse form over the last 18 months than Southend did, and they're deemed the real crisis club. And so you never like to see that in football. You don't want to see them crashing out of the National League as well. So I hope he does turn it around for them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, all the best. I mean, like you both said, if he wants to go in, there, and obviously he knows the club. The fans deserve a lot much better, and all the best to Southend as well, because the way their owner is disgusting, really. Why so many clubs, like Bury, Macclesfield, Southend, and all the best to Southend and Kevin Mayer. For the season as well, even into Fordham Blue, even in last tough game versus Newport, but can definitely see 3 points coming our way to make up for the disappointment of last night. Sam says, I think Harry should have had a warning. Yeah, me too. Big up to Charlotte as well. Go and subscribe to her channel as well. But yeah, quickly with you, Neil. What was your thoughts on Evans last night and sort of so far this season? What do you make of him?
When I first saw it and how he'd set up and kick off, a bit concerned to see him in there next to Whelan, to be honest. But the game played out pretty well for him because he found himself in a nice pocket most of the game. He had plenty on it. He could get on the ball, get on the half turn, plenty. Worked out well for him, to be honest, sitting in that pocket. I was a bit concerned when I first saw it, but he had acres in there, really, if you're honest. Once we beat the press, and can get it into him. Once he got on the half turn, he had about 3 or 4 options of what he had to do with it. It was just decision making after that, really. I think you're getting to the point where you know what you're going to get with Evans now. You're going to get, a 7 to 9 out of him every game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with him. I was just pretty happy with him. You know what I mean? He's just solid, isn't he? If a goal's going to come along, you think it's probably going to come from him now.
Yeah. He's been class.
Considering we've had shocking delivery off our dead balls for about 2 years now. So he can from dead balls he can normally drill him in pretty flat and hard, and the Westbrook scenario of looping it into God knows where. I mean, Colchester had it last night. Their delivery was absolutely appalling. You never ever felt threatened when they had a set piece. You thought this is going nowhere because anything they put in the box was absolutely abysmal.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see him. Obviously, like we was talking about on the coach on the way down, and he was sort of saying, he was sort of saying that he didn't say it properly, but you knew what he was like, sort of like a stepping stone or whatever. But I mean, to be honest with you, like if he does do well, I think if we end up either going up or even if we don't go up and finish the season strong, I just think he'll hopefully want to stay for another year because he needs a bit of consistency because he's just been out on loans and
it's caught though, isn't it? The ball's going to be complete if his form maintains what it is. The ball's going to be complete in his court. He's on a 1-year deal. It can expire. Money talks, doesn't it? If someone comes in and goes, "Oh, do you know what? I'm going to bump up your salary and give you a 2-year deal in League One." He ain't gonna go, "Oh no, hold on, I've got another year here." I mean, money talks at the end of the day, and he's only 22, 23.
Yeah,
and he's got a career in front of him. He wants to go and earn as much money as he can while he can, because you're only an ACL away from it all going wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Kai says, "Where's the Pitman haters?" I'm like we've talked about it. With Pitman, as long as he stays in and around the box, he's great. Because we've seen last night in the box, ball comes in, bang, and he scored another goal, which was a goal. Should have been given as a goal, but obviously wasn't. But it's definitely looking a lot better. He looks a lot fitter because, like we talked about as well, he just kept going. Like even like Benji said as well, when we needed to, when we went down to 9 men. He actually was helping a lot and getting flick-ons, holding the ball up, helping coming back and help to defend. So hopefully he's just going to get better as the season goes on, with his fitness and stuff like that. But obviously getting onto the Newport game, big game this week. First time you playing them in 5 years. The last time we played them was a lovely 4-1 win. The season we went up to League One, and obviously this season so far 13th in the league. 2 points above us. If we do win, fingers crossed, we can go in front of them. And obviously now they've also got a new manager, and he was the one that was linked with Rovers, who I'm pretty sure he was at Mangotsfield as a coach, as well as Bristol City, and he's just come from Cardiff, James Rowbury. I remember the name. I didn't realise they got a new manager until today. I seen it on Twitter, and he was a first-team coach at Cardiff. That's his first role as a manager. And obviously that's their third person now that's being taken charge, because they did have, obviously, Mike Flynn, who left. I've seen, obviously he hasn't gone anywhere yet, but I've seen a lot of Charlton fans are wanting him as manager because after the shambles that they've started this season. And then they had Hatswell, who was unbeaten in 3 games. And now James Rowbury. Going with you, Benji, what do you make of their season so far? I don't know how much you've seen, and also the new appointment. Do you know much about James Rowbury?
Well, first things first, I haven't seen too much of Newport this season. I think they've balanced out. They've got a goal difference of 0, and they're above us by 2 points in the table. So they're probably slightly underwhelming, but that's no different to us. Rowbury, whatever it is, just seems like another Garner on paper, because he's got incredible coaching experience and good pedigree, but hasn't had a management job yet. Whether he turns out to be as bad as Garner and co were in their regime at Bristol Rovers, I don't know. He could be another one where he needs time to bed in, because obviously Garner's doing well at Swindon. I just hope they don't get the new manager bounce against us on Saturday. That's
Yeah.
all I hope. And obviously, it helps us with them not having two of their first choice players in Haynes and Upson out for the game. But that goes without saying that we're not very well helped on the left side of our defence with Harries and Trevor Clark being out for the game as well. So I think it should be a good battle. Actually, hopefully Railbury does well, but just not against us, and they finish below us in the table.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, like you said, whether because I seen before, because I remember one before we got Garner, he was one of the names as well. So, but yeah, he's obviously gone to them from Cardiff. All the best. Well, I say all the best. Hopefully, because it depends. Newport is like one of them clubs where obviously Flynn done really well with them on a low budget to get him promoted a few times. Obviously, they were in the conference as well. And, he's done well on a low budget. Now he's gone. What sort of direction are they going to go? Because it's going to be interesting as well, because they're sort of team that likes to bring the youth up as well to their team. Obviously, the likes of Aaron Collins, going to be interesting to see if he starts or, if he starts on the bench or whatever. But yeah, Sam saying last week, yeah, that's a good thing. We're scoring more goals now. Now we've got more players, coming back. Because that's what I mean. We were talking about it last night. We've still got players coming back to fitness. Thomas has only just come back. Nicholson, Whelan, Coots, they're still coming back to fitness. So, we'll see. Young Fan Podcast, even to you, who's an Oxford fan, says, good luck with the game. We'll have to come on the podcast after we play each other in the FA Cup. Yeah, definitely, that'd be decent. Obviously, FA Cup in a few weeks' time against Oxford. But yeah, Neil, what's your thoughts on Newport? What have you seen of? Have you seen much of them, and what did you make of the appointments and their current form?
I think they've been it for 6 with Flynn walking out, to be honest, and I think they're just trying to stop the rot, really, because with Flynn being in there, you'd have him nailed on as a top 7 side. It's just that's what he gets. What he gets from him, but. I think ever since Hatswell's gone in there, Hatswell's just tried to keep him ticking over and say, we'll just keep everything the same and try our best just to keep ticking over as much as Flynn would have had us. But, they've been hurt massively with losing Sheehan and Ladderby. They're not as good a side as it was last season. You take them 2 out of any side, they're going to be weaker, straight out the middle of the core of that side. And I think it's shown this season, they've sort of struggled to be able to... dominate sides, get on the ball, open sides up, because basically last season Sheehan was too good for the league. Basically, he was active for him, and I think they've their squad's just depleted this season compared to what it was last, and they need to find a way of having a new cycle now. I think because they've had the Flynn cycle, they've got what they've got from them. They have to go in a different direction, and by the look of it, they've gone in the direction of a young up and coming coach from just down the road to try and go in a new direction. It's probably the smart move, to be honest, because I get sick of seeing the churning out the same old managers in their 50s and 60s to get a job and fail, and then they go and get another one. It's probably the right road to go down, to be honest.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. Yeah, like you said, to be fair, last season they lost quite a few players. Like you said, mentioned Sheehan, who went to Bolton, is having a quality season with them. Obviously, Labadie went to Walsall. You've got the goalkeeper, Tom King, and Liam Shepherd, both went to Salford. And that's the thing as well, all them players, who are their main players, they went on a free as well. So they didn't even get any money or anything for them. But, they're still obviously a decent team. They're above us. Obviously, like Benji said, we both probably had under par starts. But, we'll be both, both sets of fans and teams will be hoping, to sort of kick on. Going to be interesting as well, because both teams have only lost once in their last 5. Newport have actually got 3 draws in a row. Obviously, drawing to Carlisle the other night, but obviously they finished with 9 men. Drew to Exeter, drew to Bradford, beat Scunny 3-0 and lost to Barrow away. Whereas Rovers, we've got 8 points out of 15. 1 loss, which was the Swindon game. But obviously, we beat Walsall, Carlisle, Bradford, drew to Bradford and drew to Carlisle. So, drew to Colchester, sorry. But both coming in with good form, really, both teams sort of scoring goals again now as well, both teams. So, we'll see what sort of game it's going to be. A lot of the time, it is high scoring. Newport and Rovers. I remember. I don't really want to bring it up, but I remember the game, the season we got promoted. Obviously, we lost 4-1 at home the last time we played Newport at home when Bowden scored a worldie, but we got absolutely smashed. And then obviously the away game we won 4-1. Mr. Tapman saying, I hope my team Rochdale can get 3 points against Sutton. We had enough chances in the second half to beat Salford. Yeah, there was a lot of draws last night. And so, yeah, Rochdale, they were on good form, but the last few games they're stuttering. But, you know, I think with Rochdale, and I think they'll probably get back on form. Specs also says Pittman has just come out of nowhere. I mean, it's not even that. I just think we're sort of playing to more of his strengths. We're getting the ball up to him more like before, and we're doing it properly, like balls in the box, like where we're not, obviously against Swindon, we were just hoofing it up to him, and we were so, far set back. There was nowhere for him to go. But last night, we've seen there was better delivery for one. When you've got the likes of Evans, Thomas, Nicholson on the pitch, the quality of the delivery is always going to be better. And, we've seen the last few games, if you get the ball into him, if it's his head or whatever, he will score goals. He will score goals. Well done to Pittman. But obviously we'll get into the lineups first. I'll go with Benji first. And of course, everyone in the comments, leave your lineups. What would you play? What system would you play? And then obviously after lineups, we will go on to score predictions. But Benji, what have you sort of thought out a team yet that you would play for Saturday?
Yeah, I have. So prior to coming on, I was thinking it's basically just formation rather than the personnel that I was thinking about. But I think you have to go with the same formation, 3 at the back to match Newport. I think playing 4-2-3-1 would invite too much pressure either side of whoever the deep line midfielders are, because there's too much space in there, albeit giving us a little bit more protection at the back. Our hands kind of forced. Obviously, with Trevor Clark and Kean Harris out, then that means Anderton will start on the left of the back 3, and Taylor and Kilgore will keep their places. I thought both of those had fantastic games last night, particularly Kilgore. It's just a shame he couldn't finish off that great team move in the second half.
Yeah.
I think leaving Nicholson high on the left was an interesting tactic, but I liked it. Anderton is obviously, cover as a left back as well, so it should be good cover for Nicholson as well. And hopefully he can rediscover some of the early promise. So he was good in the first 2 games, great, really solid against Mansfield. So hopefully a start will do him the world of good confidence-wise. So that's Nicholson. And then I think you go again with Whelan and Evans. I do think with Whelan and Evans, though, Whelan had a great game. I think everyone's rightly praised him for it, but I think Whelan did contribute with his short passing range early in the first half, because he was basically knocking it to Evans. We could have knocked it further forward. I think we'll have slightly more of an athletic test against Newport. So it might have to be quicker. He might have to be quicker with his distribution and look further forward to beat presses in through the lines. But both of them had a fantastic game. Most of the back were culpable for the first half an hour. And then that leaves us with Collins and Thomas, and we will also have Harry Anderson, right wing back, of course. So Collins and Thomas in behind Brett Pittman. I think the lineup picks itself, really.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, obviously I'll go through mine in a minute, but I've got a few changes, but it is pretty much the same.
Forgot to mention Belshaw as well, but that's stating the obvious, right?
Yeah, James Belshaw, what a keeper. That's what I mean. Obviously, was going on about earlier on and last night. But even though he didn't have loads to do, like there was obviously the save in the first half, which was obviously Sears should have scored, but it was like 2-3 yards out, and Belshaw is just always there. He's just so quick and he's just quality. I love Belshaw. He's been one of my friends. He's just quality, and he loves the fans as well.
He's a nice guy too.
He's just quality. But Neil, what have you gone with? Have you gone with the same sort of formation as Benji?
I'd have to tweak it a little bit, I think, because Newport are a completely different proposition to what Colchester are. I think with Newport, the way they set up, they pack that midfield out. They'll play 5 flat straight across it. I think with Newport, you got to earn the right to play. You got to win the fight with Newport before you start playing. Colchester, To be honest, they didn't really lay a glove on us. They didn't make it that difficult. They didn't really get about us or set after us and make life difficult. While we were finding pockets all over the place. Just don't think Newport will let you do that. They'll come and look to make it as messy. And like I said, you've got to win the fight before you can play against them. I think as far as goalkeeper in your back three, you're down to bare bones. It is what it is. You got to go with it. I think you go with Belly, Kilgore, Taylor, and as far as Anderton goes, it's there for him to take his chance now. You know, I know we've, like I said, after those two games, especially the Newport game, he had to come out the side just for his own good because he was shot to pieces. You could see mentally he was shot to pieces. He didn't engage with no one. He didn't want to press the ball. Didn't want to get anywhere near anyone running at him. He didn't want the ball when he was in space. But he, like I said, against Carlisle, it's probably the best opportunity for him to come on in that game, you know, and feel his way into playing again. So hopefully he can sit alongside Kilgore and Taylor and take his chance. He just needs to go back to basics, just edit and kick it. That's all I want from you. He's a lump. That's all he is. He's a decent, standard 6 out of 10 League 2 centre half. Just be that. Don't be anything more than that. Edit, kick it, and do your job. Don't get it down. Don't try and go around corners. Don't try and be nice and tidy on the ball. If we've got to beat the press, don't give it to Anderton. Just go to the other side. And then it comes down to what Barton's got available to pick from as far as anyone coming back, because you're looking at sort of Grant, Saunders, Brown, Finley. How far away are they? Because I think if you get a fit Sam Finley, he has to go in. As far as I'm concerned, he's got to go in. So I think again, and now you're looking at Whelan. How far is he into that red zone now? Because his legs will be shot soon. You know, 37 back-to-back 90 minutes, 2 games in a week. This will be Saturday again coming quick for him. So if he's fit, I think you play him because players look like they rely on him. He's nice and reliable. He's a senior pro in there. When Coots ain't in him, you sort of rely on him to dictate play, pull people about, be the voice. So I'd stick him in there. If Finley's fit, I'd put him in there with him, to be honest. Because I just think we'd want legs, someone to have a bit of bite in the tackle, get that ball back. I don't know if I want to put Evans that deep in there, to be honest, because I just think Newport has set about you. I think there's just set about him. They'll analyse it, they'll look at him, see that he's the guy that gets on the pivot for us, and I think they'll just go and press him and try and make life difficult for him. So again, if it was up to me, if he was fit, I'd play Whelan and Finley in there, to be honest, with Evans in front of them and Anderson and Nicholson either side. As far as looking ahead of that, with what I said about Rovers being how they are in first halves, something's got to change. You've just got to. I know we're trying to probe and be nice and tidy. Sometimes you just got to be a bit more direct and turn sides round quicker. And I'd have Collins right next to Pittman. I'd just have him right next to him, because taking Collins out the side is going to do no good for him. I think you just got to persevere with him and wait for something to go in off his ass or anything, because it ain't like he ain't trying. He's giving you everything, and something's going to give at some point. He will get his goal, but I wouldn't leave him up there on his own. I'd play Pittman with him. I'd let him do all the running, all the energy, hassle fullbacks, be a menace, win fouls, and hopefully when something drops to him, he can get his goal. But that's what I'd set up with, because I just think Newport is a completely different proposition to Colchester. It's not going to be being able to get it at your feet and spray it left and right, get it back, go out the other side and then let you do it, because I just think Newport are going to set after us with that flat 5 in the middle.
Yeah, completely agree. We've got a lineup here. Matt's has done one. Belshaw, Kilgore, Taylor, Harry's if it's rescinded, but I doubt it'll get rescinded. But he did say Anderton otherwise. Then Coots, Whelan, Nicholson, Evans in front of Coots and Whelan, and then Thomas and Pittman up front. That's interesting. Fair play. I mean, with me, obviously, I'm going to go with the same formation. Match Newport. Same as what you guys have said. Belshaw and goal. Kilgore, Taylor, Anderton. Like you said, Anderton, just don't do anything stupid. If you want to hoof it, but just don't do anything, because I get, because he's so slow and he turns like a tank. So like whenever you just kick it up the line or kick it out wide or switch it, but just don't do anything stupid. Do the basics.
It's no different to what we say about Pittman, though, is it, mate? Just do what you're good at. Just play and do what you're good at the end of the day. Yeah. You're an half decent, solid League Two centre half. No more than that. Just be that guy.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I mean, it's sort of tough because I want to play Thomas again, but I think for this game, I'm going to have him on the bench just so there's more of an impact. Because I think Newport have got quite an not old, but quite an oldish back three. Like when you've got James Clark, who's like 32 now, you've got Dolan, you've got Dimitru, the left back, but he mainly plays as a centre back. I would bring Thomas on again. So I would have Anderson on the right. So I'd play like a 3-4-1-2. Anderson on the right, Whelan and Coots. But if Finley's fit, I would play Finley instead of Coots for sure. Nicholson on the left again. I thought he'd done well tracking back, and when he was going forward, he looked dangerous as well. And then I'd play Evans in behind the two strikers, which would be if Saunders is fit. I know Collins. I do really want Collins to score, and it'd be nice for him, especially to do it against Newport. But I would play Saunders and Pittman. If Saunders fit, I'd throw him in. And so that would be mine. Obviously, it's a bit different, but I mean, it's annoying with Collins because, like you said, it's not like he's trying his best. His hold up play, his work rate, his effort. He should have scored last night as well. Obviously, if he was on confidence, he would have just probably tucked it in the bottom corner because that was the best thing to do. But obviously, he blasted it. But yeah, and also completely forgot about that. Joe Day is in goal for Newport. So hopefully he doesn't have an absolute masterclass because for us, there's some games where he was class, but some games he was just...
He was always pretty busy though, mate, wasn't he?
Yeah, that is true. Like our defence, But saying that, even Belshaw's still pretty busy. He's made I think apart from I seen a stat. Apart from that Colchester keeper, Belshaw makes the most saves per game. So I mean, even now we're conceding. We still concede quite a lot of chances, but he is a better. But hopefully, Joe Day is an absolute shocker. And like I was talking to Neil and Benji as well, at half time. And hopefully, this is the game for us to try and play well and just get on the start well. That's what I want to see. Hopefully, we can start well and sort of play, instead of playing good for 45 minutes or 55 minutes, maybe even 75 minutes. But just, but yeah, we'll see. Charlie, but yeah. Matt says, I've got the dilemma, Thomas dilemma too, hence the switch with Collins. But yeah, fair enough. But yeah, we're going to get into lineups now. Everyone in the comments, get your lineups in. Obviously, hit the like button if you're already. But Benji first, what score are you predicting?
I haven't thought about this. I'm going to be the glass half full guy and go 2-1 Rovers.
2-1 Rovers. That's fair enough. What goal scores are you going for? Do you reckon the Port Pie Pele's going to score again?
Yeah, and he'll be assisted by Mr. Evans, of course. And I'm also going to go with a Luke Thomas goal.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, I'd love. Obviously, he got a great goal against Chelsea in the EFL Trophy. It'd be nice for him to get a league goal as well. But yeah, that's fair enough. 2-1 to Rovers. Benji, what am I about? Neil, what about you? What are you going for?
Oh, mate, this could be anything. Like the way us and Newport are at the minute, it wouldn't surprise me. I think we'll take something from the game. I think we're so much harder to beat now. It could be. I mean, I'll go. I don't know, 3-2. I think there could be loads of goals in this. There could be mistakes all over the place. We are due a penalty at some point this season. You know what I mean? I know we've had one, but the amount of times we are probing, getting forward, getting through players, getting in decent areas, we're due a penalty at some point. We're due a win as well. We've got to win a game at some point rather than drawing luck. I think, I'll go 3-2. High scoring game.
I almost went 3-2.
Oh wow. Do you know what? I think there'll be a lot of goals as well. I'm gonna say, I mean, I might look stupid come full time or do my reaction, but I'm gonna say Newport 2, Rovers 4. I think we're gonna get 4 goals at home.
You should just say 4-1 because that's what the history would tell you about that fixture. 4-1 to Rovers, of course.
Actually, yeah, why not? I'm going to go with the history. I'm going to say back-to-back 4-1 wins against Newport. Why not?
You better stick a tenner on that.
Yeah, let's make this a really high scoring and dominant game. Mats has gone for 3-1 Rovers. Wayne Clark's also gone 3-2. Tom Butler says, I said 1-1 about last night. 1-0 Rovers. God, completely opposite to what all of us have gone for. A clean sheet there. I'd take a clean sheet. BRFC Tom loves a little score prediction. He's gone 6-0 Rovers. Clean sheet and 6 goals. Vaughan has gone for a 3-1 Newport win. Interesting. And he is a Rovers fan as well. But yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, we could have a shambles. Who knows? It is Rovers. Anything could happen. But I've gone for the other way. And yeah, I'm hoping we can just have a nice dominant performance. Even if it's, like I said, even if it's for like 75, 80 minutes, we have just, I think, yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, if we start well, I think we will, but it sort of depends how we start. If it's normal Rovers, then it'll be, there won't be many goals, I don't think. But if we come out of the block...
Would you have said 4 weeks ago, would you have said Rovers would be scoring 3s and 4s? We wouldn't have even dreamed of it, mate.
No, absolutely. That's what I mean. Even before Walsall, which is what how many games have we played now? 13. So, yeah, 5 games ago. So on our 9th game, that was the first time we scored more than 2 goals in the league. And then obviously Swindon was just, forget that. That was, I don't even want to think about that. But then we scored 3 against Carlisle, 2 against Bradford, and obviously 1 against Colchester. But over the chances we did have, we should have scored more. But yeah, that is going to be it. Like I said, hopefully we can get a really positive result. Hopefully a win. Obviously appreciate Benji for coming on and Neil for coming on, and obviously everyone that tuned in. Obviously, if you do tune in on the replay, leave your score predictions and obviously your thoughts on the Colchester game if you watched it or if you listened to it or if you went. But yeah, be back as always every single week at 7 on a Wednesday. If anyone else wants to come on with us, feel free to drop me a message, and you can come on as well. I'm open to want all fans to try and get involved. And yeah, hopefully a win. But yeah, hit the like if you haven't already. Subscribe, and I'll see you for. I'm definitely doing a vlog this week as well. I said I was doing a vlog yesterday, but I'm definitely doing a vlog this week. So hopefully, we can get a win. But yeah, thanks to everyone for tuning in, and we will see you again on Wednesday. Up the gas.
Up the gas.